What's happening, fishing friends? Welcome to another episode. Today I'm going to be covering my top 6-7-ish favorite budget combos from 2022. Now I know the word budget is different for everybody. That's why I've tried to keep all of these under $150 or less. So especially some of these you can kind of mix and match and get the combo, the rod and reel itself, for right about $100. Of course, I'll leave all my links below for Tackle Warehouse to make it easy. Go check it out. I do get a little bit of a kickback if you use those links, but if not, if you find it cheaper by somewhere else, by all means, go over there and buy it. So anyway, enough yapping. Let's get started. I've got a couple spinning combos I'll go over here first. So the first one is going to be the St. Croix Bass X spinning rod. I picked up the 7'1" medium fast. The thing I really liked about this rod is how it feels in hand. When I put my hand here, I hate spinning combos that have a whole bunch of stuff up here, like a hump or a bunch of extra material. I just don't feel like it's needed. So something like this where it's nice and smooth, low profile. I'll usually have my pinky behind, my finger up here. So if I'm running a drop shot or I don't run a drop, more like a shaky head or a Ned rig, something like that. As I'm bouncing that and dragging that on the bottom, I can feel that vibration in the rod with my finger. Another thing that helps with the budget gear is on all my spinning rods, I go from braid to either a fluorocarbon or monofilament leader, whatever I need, if I need it to float or not. And that braid to that leader adds so much sensitivity. You can really bump up a rod by putting braid on there. You know, there's no contesting the sensitivity of braid. So, and the reason I really like this one is because it's close to that $100 price point. Like I said, you can get a lot of this stuff now on sale, so it's going to be under what I'm talking about. But I think this is like $115. The only problem I had with it is back here is where you tighten the reel onto it. And if you notice, I can just keep going. You hear the little click? Listen. It stopped working as far as tightening goes. Now, I've had this happen on a number of reels. Rods. I can't really knock this rod for it because otherwise it's been amazing. Guides, feel, action, everything of it's been good. I've had this happen on more expensive rods, and the best way I've found to fix this is once you take all this off, up here at the front of these threads, just put a piece of electrical tape. Take your reel off like this, wrap a piece or a wrap or two of electrical tape around that. That way, once you get tightened up to the top, it bites down to that electrical tape and holds it. So otherwise, I've absolutely loved the rod. I landed one of my biggest fish of the year, 5.3 or something, when I went up to Minnesota on a little Ned rig. So if you're looking for a good setup, this is it. Now, as far as the reel, Shimano has a number of reels in that sub $100 category that I've used and I really like. This is the Shimano Sahara. I have really liked this one. This is new for this year. There's also an older version, which again, you might be able to find at some places being discontinued, but this is like 89 bucks. You can step up to 99 bucks and get the Nasi. But I had this one on a different rod. The budget reel, spinning reel, I have to recommend is the Shimano Neck Save. This thing has been good. It's like 55 bucks, something like that. Has been good. Drag has worked well. You've seen me use this in videos. I've got it on my Abu Garcia Veritas. Doesn't really fit in the budget category, but the reel does, and you can see I mix and match. So I'm not afraid to use some budget stuff and use it throughout the year. I feel like there's people out there that are like, oh yeah, I use budget and I use this real expensive stuff, but it's like, so it's all stuff that I've used and tested. I wouldn't just be putting baloney stuff on here just because it fits a certain price range. I've used it and I liked it. So again, I'll link all these combos and options below so you can kind of thumb through and look at it. I know I'm talking about a lot of stuff here and kind of covering a lot of different bases, so I hope that makes it easier. But combo number 2 for the spinning is going to be the Daiwa Tattoo XT. Now this is the older model, and the reason I'm talking about both, I've got the new Tattoo XT model in casting, but I don't have it in spinning yet. But I've talked to a couple people that have, and I am confident this is one of my favorite combos that I've used. This is one of my favorite rods. I used to have the Daiwa Fuego spinning reel on this. Now I've got the Okuma ITX on there. Awesome rod, has done extremely well for me. What is this one? 7-foot medium fast, rated for lures up to 3/4 of an ounce. And it has been an absolute little workhorse. I mean, the thing for me on this one is balance. Look at that. Right where I hold the rod, this thing is completely balanced right there. And that is really hard to do. And I know some people say, well, the balance doesn't matter when you're showing it like that. Or it does. I guess I don't understand where people are coming from that. I understand if you add different reels, it can add different weight and it can kind of shift that. But I'm just trying to give people kind of a general look and feel. Right there is where it is, of how it balances. So the reel, there's going to be a couple different options. The Okuma ITX is good. I've liked it and used it. I just did some talking about the Okuma Syamar HD, which is $10 less, and in my opinion feels a little bit smoother. Now I haven't actually got to use this one yet, so take that for a grain of salt, but I have used the ITX. I've got a couple of these. They've been solid little reels, especially I think Okuma has an extra like 10% off or something on the Tackle Warehouse sale, so check out the Okuma stuff, score some good deals. Now also, I talked about the Fuego being an awesome $100 reel, but if you want to go a little bit less, the Daiwa Laguna or the Daiwa RG, the Regal. Both of those have been spectacular reels. Let's see. There's my RG, a little 2000 size. This is on my trout setup. Either this Laguna or the RG, both of them fish above the price point. I've used brands, reels from other brands that are 2 times the price of these that don't feel as good. And there's some brands that just kind of confuse me on, like when they put out a $100 reel and I use it and I'm like, This Laguna, I've got on a St. Croix Triumph and feels good. You know, it's some more expensive rod, you know, closer to like 200, I think it's like 180. And I will talk about this one in another video. I don't know if I mentioned that. I'm doing the budget stuff in this one. I'm going to try to have one out Friday on the stuff above that, like above the like 150-ish price point, but to kind of talk about both ends of the spectrum. Okay, moving over to casting side, the rod that I think is probably my favorite budget rod of the year is this Arc Catalyzer. Now, I know that's surprising because I've told y'all I've had a not good experience with Arc customer service in the past. I said I probably wasn't going to buy any more of their rods, but I got this one on sale last year, I think the Christmas sale, for I believe $38. You should be able to get it pretty close to that on this sale, probably, I don't know, 40 bucks, something around in there. But for that price, this thing has been solid. In hand, has an extremely, extremely good purchase on the grip here. In hand feels amazing. You can absolutely lock it down. I like that they have a flat piece here. It's not the foam actually here on the tightener, but it is a piece that's nice and soft. My finger can rub back and forth across it. There's, you know, no sharp edges or anything like that. Balance point is right there. You can just barely see it. Not too shabby for a $38 rod. I got the 7-foot medium heavy fast action rated for lures up to 1 ounce. And it's a decently soft medium heavy. It's not overly soft. You know, it's not one that I would be like, oh, this is closer to a, you know, to a moderate than a fast. You know, it's decently soft. Y'all saw me have an awesome day throwing the Strike King Sexy Dog. I caught like a 3 and it was close to like 3.5 pound smallie that day. Y'all saw me throwing buzz baits on it. The little buzz frog. I threw a number of different renditions of this, and it's so far been a solid stick. I think I even had a day where I was throwing a chatterbait on it and caught fish. So, you know, a medium heavy rod up to 3/4 of an ounce or 1 ounce rating for lures is like perfect. That will do almost everything for you. And it's unheard of to find like a $50 rod that's not a 24-ton blank. They stepped up and put a 36-ton blank on this thing. So overall, extremely nice little rod. The reel, I'm kind of on the fence about. It's the Jordan Lee reel from Abu Garcia. Now the reel itself performed well. I didn't have a single issue with it, but it's the exact same reel as the Abu Garcia Max X. If I take the side plate off this one, no big surprise there. It fits exactly on the Jordan Lee reel. So it's the same body. I would assume the exact same make. I don't think they use anything different. They both say graphite frame and side plate. So unfortunately with the Jordan Lee version, which is like around $100, $109, something like that, you know, this does have the carbon fiber grip on it. It's got the updated handles with like this kind of sticky stuff on it. It's got some more bearings and Jordan Lee's name on it. So is it worth the extra price from stepping up in price over the Max X? I don't think so. I would put the Max X on that catalyzer and go with an ultimate budget combo. I mean, the Max X casted well. It's not the smoothest. It's not the quietest reel, but you're not paying, you know, $40 to get the smoothest, quietest reel in the market. You want a good budget. It casted well. It's got the simple magnetic brakes that you turn out here on the outside to switch it up, so you don't have to get into it. There's no funky messing with it. Now this does come in a combo. I actually got this on sale last year at Academy for I think like $80 or $60, something like that, a good price. But I personally was not a fan of the rod. It's pretty clunky down here at the bottom. It's kind of, here that's kind of creaky. I didn't love that, but the reel, solid little reel, it's like the old, you know, Black Max or Silver Max. It just works. Nothing fancy, no frills, but it casted well. I didn't have any issues. So, okay, for the next combo, I think this is going to be one that a lot of people can agree on. The Daiwa Aaron X, one of the best budget rods I think out there. Again, right at that $50 price point for just the rod. Tackle Warehouse, a number of places are probably having sales that you can get this for a little bit less than that. So look for those deals and get it now. This one is the 7-foot medium power fast action rated for lures up to 3/4 of an ounce. And this is a pretty soft and flimsy rod. I don't know how well you can see it here, but this thing bends clear all the way down, a very soft rod. So I actually bought this for smaller cranks, some smaller topwaters. I was using it for smaller moving baits, but it's a pretty soft rod. Now I know Bass Geek, check out, he's got a full review on this rod. He got the medium heavy and said it's like an awesome do-it-all. This one would be a little light for some things. It's a little whippy, but man, if you're looking for like a, you know, a budget cranking stick or, you know, some sort of topwater rod that is pretty soft. I mean, you could work ploppers, you know, the smaller ploppers, walking baits, poppers, that kind of stuff. Overall, for lighter stuff, this medium has done absolutely awesome. Now, I paired mine with the Shimano SLX MGL. Now, I know that's not necessarily budget, but I got mine used, so it was just over $100. If you can't find one used, you're just looking at regular reels, I would say the SLX, the Lose LFS, two awesome reels right at $100. And since you're spending a little less on the rod using this for top water or reaction stuff where you don't need it to be as sensitive, you could certainly spend a little bit more on the reel. If you like that smaller size, and especially for something where you don't need a ton of line, casting lighter baits, the MGL has been awesome. Okay, moving along to another favorite, one that you probably, I think, only saw once this year I used, but the previous year I've had it for like, I don't know what, 2 years? I got it right when they came out. So the version that I got is the 7'2" medium heavy, rated for lures up to 1 ounce. There it is. You're hearing it again, a 7-foot medium heavyish, rated for 3/4 or up to 1 ounce lures. It's a great do-it-all rod. Now this one is decently soft, but definitely has more backbone, like compared to that Aaron X, which is a medium. This is a medium heavy, but still pretty soft. So this one, if I can show you there, it is a fast, but it's got a decently soft tip to it, but not overly soft. I used it for larger topwater walking baits like the Sexy Dog. I used it for reaction baits, spinner baits, chatter baits. As long as you can get over that bright blue color, it was a really good rod. Now, one issue I did have with it, and I left this, I didn't fix it so I could show it, but the little cap that goes over the reel tightening nut came off. Now with these, you can just put some super glue on and glue it over again, but in hand, awesome little rod. I do kind of like the EVA on this. It's like maybe a little bit more coarse feel to it. So when you put your hand on it here, good and comfortable. Everything fits and melds and meshes really well. I like that this cap is here because it keeps everything nice and smooth there, so there's no rough edges or anything. Just have to reattach it. As for the reel, this is the Lose Classic Pro. I added some aftermarket little wing grip handles on there. I don't love the flat Lose handles that come on these, but again, a $50-ish reel. I got mine on sale a while back and did a review, I think last year. So much of this budget gear is great when you don't need like a specific purpose. So for example, this one, this is a graphite frame, graphite body. Now, would I take the LFS over this? Absolutely, any day. $99 reel, aluminum frame. It's an awesome little reel. This setup is all graphite, but I used it for treble hook baits where I've got a little bit softer line. I had mono on here, the Trilene XL. Best probably budget mono out there, I think. I've used that forever. No issues, soft, casts well, Trilene XL in the red box. I'll leave that linked at the end too. But with this, once you throw the lure out there and you're working it, it's soft enough that when you hook into them with the treble hook, you can really lean into it and let the rod do the hook setting. But it's not so floppy and flimsy that it's like a crankbait rod. This is definitely not a cranking stick. An all-around, reaction type rod. This will have no issues with that. It goes down to kind of some smaller guides, but overall, good rod. I've liked it. That was the only issue I've had so far, but it didn't impact the performance. Okay, last up on the list that is one that's hard to miss. You can't leave this behind. This is the Lose Xfinity Jeff Sprague Bright Orange Lightsaber of a rod. This one I got from Walmart. I'll leave a link below, but like the stuff on Walmart online is really hard to understand. Like they have links, then sometimes it takes me to a different place. I don't know, I hate it. So I would say go to your local Walmart and check to see if they have these Xfinity Pros, Lose Jeff Sprague version. It's got the cork down here. I threw one of the old Corrado G's on here. Again, look for used gear, garage sales, Facebook Marketplace. I got this one dirt cheap. Threw braid on it and used this as a frogging, which I think they actually messed this up. If you look at the specs, mine is a 7'2" medium heavy, but it says it's rated for 1/4 up to 2 ounce. So I think this was supposed to be labeled a heavy. Doesn't make any sense. Does not feel like a medium heavy at all. Randy got the 7-foot, I believe it is, medium heavy, and it felt completely like a medium heavy rod. He's liked his, I've liked mine. This does have micro-ish guides. They're pretty small. I don't know in comparison to other micros, but they're pretty darn small. Now, I used it for frogging, and I generally don't like micro-type guides for frogging because when you cast it out there and get a little bit of gunk on your line, you're reeling it in, sometimes it will get so bad that it will get caught up on those and you can barely even reel in. Whereas if they're a little bigger, sometimes they'll get down to your reel. You can kind of pick them off here, but it can impact getting stuck in the tip that's a micro guide or getting caught in these there. You can see very small little micro guides. So if you like using braid to a leader or you hate getting stuff stuck in your guides, I would maybe go away from this one and go to one of the others. But it held up well. I'm not going to say it's the most sensitive rod. I use mine for topwater frogging. I think these are like $60, $70. I don't remember what they were. Randy actually got me this, so thank you, Dizzle. I appreciate that. Good budget buy. I would definitely recommend this one, like I said, for stuff where you don't need it crazy sensitive. Okay, so the last one on the list is the Shimano Chias. Now, the reason I left this one for last is because they sell it in a combo, which is what I would recommend getting. I got mine on sale at Walmart for 99 bucks. I saw on the advertiser thing from Academy, they've got this on sale for like right at 100 bucks. The Shimano Chias reel, Shimano Chias rod. Now, the Chias reel itself is a pretty darn good reel. It's budget. It's essentially a non-aluminum framed SLX. The body's a little bit different. You can see it's got the same type of brakes inside when you take the side plate off. So if you've got enough money to get the SLX with whatever sort of combo you're building, I would argue that the SLX is better than this one. But as a combo at $100, this is a solid little setup. Mine is a 6.8 medium power fast action, but it is soft. They only rate this up to a 1/2 ounce lure. I use this for jerk baits, smaller crankbaits. As a bank angler, having a shorter rod like this, it's nice to be able to whip it in and around cover. You know, if you're working a jerk bait or anything from the bank, the butt of it's not too long where it's hitting your arm. You can work it here, and it's short enough if you get around grass and stuff, it doesn't impact that at all. So this is kind of a bonus. Like I said, if you can find the combo and you're looking for a combo right at 100 bucks, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to tell you to build your own. But this is one that has tested pretty darn well for lighter stuff like this in the medium. I think they do a medium heavy as well. Not sure if they do a heavy, but you know, everything together fits pretty darn good in the hand. The trigger's maybe just a little far back. I would like that moved a little bit farther forward, but that's just going to kind of depend on your hand. When I'm cranking and stuff with it, I don't need my finger up here. I'll just put my finger here, and it's nice and comfortable anyway. But, you know, the reel feels fine. It's got the same grips that are on the SLX. Just doesn't have that aluminum frame, which I really do think helps longevity, especially if you're doing anything that's a little bit harder hook sets or heavier line or pulling them through heavier stuff. The reel just lasts a lot longer. All right, fishing friends, comment below and let me know what your favorite piece of budget gear was from 2022. Now, it doesn't have to be released this year, but just from what you've used over the last year, your favorite budget rod, favorite budget reel. I'll leave some line recommendations below, kind of my picks for budget fluorocarbon, monofilament, braid. Now, today's subscribed fishing friend is my guy, Creighton Olson. Creighton, thank you for dropping the request that you'd like to see that. I had probably a dozen other people asking, oh, you do like some best gears or like some rod and reel review type stuff. So I figured I wanted to get one of these out. There's some awesome deals going on. Check them out wherever you're, you know, if you're going out and about. I do not. I hate going out, so I'll be doing some online shopping. I'll pick up a couple things, but I've really tried to dial back on some of this stuff. So check out the deals. Like I said, I will try to drop Friday a kind of a list of my favorite stuff above that $150 price point. It kind of ranges. Like I said, I use stuff all over the map, and it's not just like take it out once and be like, okay, I use budget gear. I actually use the stuff because if it works, I'll tell you about it. If it doesn't, if it's really bad, I probably will tell you. But if it's just like, you probably just won't even hear about it. So comment below and let me know if you'd like to see more of these. I appreciate y'all. I need to edit. Have a safe, fun, and happy Thanksgiving, or if you celebrate it or not, happy whatever week off if you have it off or working, or heck, I don't know. Anyway, it's late. I need to edit. Thanks for watching, and until next time.